College was such a powerful experience for me that I stayed in it for 22 years. I was anxiety ridden and couldn't wait to graduate high school. I wanted out and to never look back at that town again. But I was probably afraid of even my own shadow then, so I went to the local college a few towns away. Who would have thought that miles were just miles in the context of a change of scenery? Technology and social media withstanding, our childhood experiences are largely defined by geography. The friends we made growing up were our classmates. Who we sat by in elementary school probably were our best choices, and in the 80s, for me, that meant alphabetical order. I knew the kids whose last names started with A and B the best. Those friendships were more convenient than anything. They were formidable and outright necessary for our social development. Without them, what are we now? But what we didn't know was that for many, we would outgrow them. Now, I know some adults would say that their high school friends are still their best friends today. But the elasticity of friendship is only flexed as we individually grow, meaning you grew and changed, as did your childhood friends, but you remain close to each other. Maybe you went to college elsewhere, but still convened regularly during the breaks and over the summer, and then reconvened fully afterwards. But we all spread our wings following high school, and journeys become individual. We got to choose our next move. We didn't all go to college, or the same one. As I said, I had no allegiance to my classmates or friends. I wanted something new. College is the first real independent choice we make. And I got it. Like 15 miles away, I got it. The first semester was an absolute train. My anxiety coupled with not knowing anyone, and I was a fish out of water. I flipped, I flailed, I flopped. The fresh start I needed almost crashed out of the gate. But then I met Amy. She was a senior and hell-bent on keeping the student organization she founded going. And she needed Asian students to make this happen. Yes, it was the Asian Student Association that she started. Now, Amy was physically very beautiful. Beautiful girls didn't really ever talk to me before, so I was Hollywood starstruck. But this isn't Hollywood, so my anxiety kept me at bay. I rejected her invitations. She kept on, though. The college year is only 30 weeks, give or take. I held out for almost all of them. I caved around week 22 and went to a meeting. I saw people who looked like me, and they were so nice, because they were just like me, figuring themselves out. Every student is the same. They are finding themselves and figuring themselves out. The student association meeting was late in the evening, and afterwards they asked if I wanted to come hang out at their apartment. Now, my biggest fans were my parents, and before I was coming home right after class, I was a regular at the dinner table and rarely had anything to share with how my day went. I worked my part-time job, went to class. This time, I came home after 11 p.m. I met people. Meeting people that late in the school year couldn't stop time, so that summer we fell out of touch. If what I found was real, the test of time would come through. And it did. Amy asked me to come to a welcome back party at the apartment with some of the members. It was the same group. It stuck because, again, we were all seeking the same thing. I still had my anxiety, so it was really hard to go to that party. I still didn't know any of them well enough to trust them. One of the members I met that previous spring was T. Visually, he was a bit much. Rugged, thuggish, hard to imagine friendly, but the truest proof to never judge a book by its cover. Each one teach one. It just takes one. Meet one person to establish a connection. It started with Amy, who connected me with T, and that flourished. T taught me the single most valuable thing. Confidence. He oozed it, but not in an arrogant or cocky or even threatening way. People were drawn to him. He was funny and authentic and caring and inclusive. I found someone to trust. And through his being, T taught me that confidence can only come via self-acceptance. You have to like yourself. Now, he never actually said this. He just exuded it. Self-acceptance became the breeding ground for this confidence. T introduced me to his friends, and let's just say the rest is history. I found my tribe. I moved to an off-campus apartment. The circle of friends became bigger, and my anxiety smaller. Amy got her wish. Her student organization grew, and I became an active member, eventually a board member, and then advisor as a grad student. I pledged my allegiance to it because, well, that was the impetus for all that was. And like I said, college was the most transformative experience of my life. Sense of belonging comes first, then mattering. College is a very transient experience. Year 1 to year 4 is a speed roller coaster. As one class exits, a younger version enters, and that's the cycle. You're a part of that cycle. I began recruiting members the way I was recruited earlier. What I was selling was simple. Belonging and feeling like you belong is everything. Once you belong, you're in. How do you know you belong? Well, if you see a pic of your circle of friends on social media and you're not part of it, maybe the pic was from a dinner that week. You didn't go, you had to work, or maybe you had homework that needed to be done, but you weren't there. And it's okay. Those are your people and you all know it. They do, you belong. Once you belong to that group and ultimately to that school. From there comes this idea of mattering. Student organizations do incredible things for colleges. I call it the sticking points. Academics will forever be the cornerstone, but the sticking points is human born. Belonging creates opportunity that borns purpose. We created a spring festival highlighting Chinese New Year, and it's still going strong today, some 30 years later. It provided purpose for generations after us, and that matters, cements our legacy, proves we were there, that we mattered, that we took something from them, the degree, but left something in return. Colleges understand very simply that scholarship and research and class attendance and intellectual discourse are the foundation of a college's success. Unless the student has a bad roommate or a broken sink in their res hall room, can't find food to eat in the dining hall due to their allergies, or they can't make friends. The smarts are great, but you don't get those without students feeling comfortable and supported. Expand your boundaries as your comfort grows, but expand them. I belong. I am doing something that matters. Let's get more. My participation grew from member to joining a few other student groups, and then getting a job as a peer mentor at the office that also provided me with support. I intertwined my involvement so that even if one falters, I could find it elsewhere. Nothing did, but I was prepared. Grow and keep growing. That is the power of your college experience. Those 4 years are a blur, but think of it as a staircase. Each year academically, you're stepping up. The 100 level courses become 200, then 300, then 400. You find a friend, then a few more, then a circle of associates, maybe study partners or the esports guy or whatever. These people aren't close friends, but they are associated with you. You want those. They are not your inner circle, but they are around you. That expansion of your boundaries is supported by these peripheral associates. These are the people that will cross your mind 20 years from now, where they pop up in your friend request and you instinctively click accept because you always thought well of them. So yeah, I loved my college experiences so much that I kept it going as an administrator in the areas of student housing, leadership development, new student orientation, assessment and evaluation, civic engagement, and multicultural learning. All those sticking points that transformed me. 22 amazing years of it. Saw 9 generations of students through from orientation to commencement at one stop. Shout out to my purchase peeps. You're forever in my heart. I say all of this because of what your college experience can be. So as long as you not let it, but get it. Don't be a spectator. Maybe start out as one, because I know I had that anxiety. But it dissipated right before my very eyes because I went out and I got it. It will initially be awkward and nerve-wracking, but like an investment, it will take real effort on your part, commitment, endure some defeats. Not everything will work. Some things won't stick. But the items that do, the people that do, this is the win. That is where you will amaze yourself. That is where college will be the most transformative experience.